For those of you who have been following my channel for a while, you would know that I am a 20-year-old virgin. I do not view sex in the same way that most guys do. I do not view women in the same way that most guys do. When most guys look at a woman, the first thing that comes to their mind is, how can I have sex with this woman? How can I get to her body? When I see a woman, what I'm thinking of is, what can me and this woman accomplish together? What can we build together? What can we accomplish if we put our minds together and really dedicate ourselves to helping as many people out as possible? What type of money can we make together? I'm thinking further down the line. I'm thinking, for the rest of our lives, what can we do together? Whereas most guys have that short-term mindset, that instant gratification mindset. And I'm not saying that that's any better or any worse than my mindset, but I will say that a lot of people probably did not believe me when I said these things, because most guys aren't like that. I am the exception, not the rule. And to be honest, after being on NoFap for a few months, I started to question if I believed that myself, because my body started to really overpower my mind for a little bit. And because of this, I put myself back out there and started dating again. And it wasn't until I actually had the opportunity to lose my virginity that I realized that my principles are here to stay. And I will not compromise those principles because I want something physically. Now, with that being said, back in late July, I matched with this girl on Tinder. Now, I kind of insinuated this in some of my other videos that I was talking to another girl, but I tried not to say too much about it, and the reason why is because, for one, I feel like there's a certain level of privacy that I like to keep when it comes to, dating. Like, I have no trouble talking about a previous situation that I was in, which the fact that I'm even talking about this situation, I think you guys know how this turned out for me. But, I usually like to keep this type of stuff on the down low because, like I said, I like to keep it private, and also, if me and somebody stop talking, then I won't look like an idiot. So, you really had to kind of pay attention to see that I was talking to someone else. Now, with that being said, me and this girl matched on Tinder in July, late July, I believe. And we hit it off pretty well. We're both vegan. We are both spiritual. We both are looking to make a name for ourselves on social media. And we found each other attractive. Now, like I said, when I look at a woman, I'm thinking of, what can I build with this girl? Can I be with this girl 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and still be happy? And, I saw that we seemed to be going in the same direction, and we had some of the same life principles, like being vegan and being spiritual. So I figured, okay, this is a woman that is worth spending my time on. And, I feel like it was. Even though things did not work out, I feel like I learned a lot from this situation, and I was able to grow from this situation, especially from almost losing my virginity. Now, we matched in July, and we started talking, and I got her number, and we started FaceTiming. And we would FaceTime pretty much every other night. And eventually, we ended up going on our first date. I cannot tell you when our first date was. It had to be sometime in maybe early to mid-August. I really don't know. But me and this girl went on a date. Okay, one date, mind you. The first date. So, the first date, I always use that as a way to feel somebody out. To see if I vibe with that person when we are together in real life. Because at the end of the day, if I'm trying to build something with you, then we're going to be together a lot in real life. So, I felt like the vibe was pretty good. And clearly she did too, because we continued to talk after that. Now, after our first date, we scheduled another date. Obviously I was pretty excited about it because this was my first time dating in like months. I had been through quite a bit before that, so this was like my fresh start. So, me and this girl, we scheduled another date, and on the day of the date, she flakes on me. Now, okay, this right here pissed me off so much. It pissed me off so much. And honestly, if this had been any other girl, okay, if we did not have all of those things in common, if I didn't see the future, if I didn't have that vision for us, I would not have continued to talk to her after that. I would have just cut her off, because you don't flake on somebody on the day of the date. That's just inconsiderate. Now, with that being said, I gave her the benefit of the doubt that day. I thought, you know what? She still seems like a good person. And to be honest, she was a good person. She is a good person. But, I kept that in the back of my mind, that she did that. That was strike one. Okay, and then after that, she just continued to flake on me, like multiple times, whether it was with FaceTime calls or dates or whatever. And this really frustrated me. Now, I did not simp over this girl. I learned my lesson about that. But I still obviously put in some degree of effort to make things work, because, like I said, I saw potential there. I saw quite a bit of potential because we shared a lot of the same life principles. And, that vibe was still there. And, we were still kind of talking at this time, like we were still FaceTiming and everything. Eventually, I think in like mid to late August, she moved into an apartment. Now, initially, she stayed like an hour away from where I live. So, I guess it makes sense in hindsight that she flaked on that second date. But she moved to an apartment that's like 15 minutes away from where I live. Now, mind you, at this time, we had still only seen each other that one time, on that one date. We had FaceTimed multiple times, but, FaceTime is just FaceTime. That's different than seeing somebody in person and being with them. So, eventually, she's in her apartment, and she had roommates or whatever, but her roommates were gone, okay? And she hits me up, and she would always do this thing where she wouldn't ask me to come over. She would just kind of imply that she wanted me to come over by telling me that, she's bored and she's there by herself and things like that. It's like, just tell me you want me to come over. Like, just talk to me, communicate, But, I picked up on the signs because I'm not stupid. I can see that she wants me to come over. Now, the first time that, I ended up going over to her place, I'm not going to lie, I was scared. I was very scared. I had never even kissed a girl at that point. So really, I went to her place that night with the intention of getting my first kiss, which I did. But we didn't really go any further than that. I fell asleep on her bed, and we didn't do anything beyond a kiss. And it was probably the weakest kiss of all time. And that was mostly my fault, I'm not going to lie. But, I got my first kiss, cool. But also, it's still kind of strange to me that I even ended up on her bed the first time going over to her place. Because like I said, I didn't really know her like that. Like, I had only seen her one time in person. So for the second time that I see you, to be at your apartment and we're in your bed together, that's kind of strange to me. Like, that's not really like the way that I move. I don't move like that. I don't know you like that. But, I was kind of just following her lead or whatever. But I didn't really have any intentions of going beyond a kiss. And on top of that, her roommate ended up coming back at like 11 o'clock that night. So, we didn't really have the opportunity to do anything anyways. Now, I want to say about a week later, the same thing happened. I ended up going over to her place. And, it was very clear what she wanted. Even though she didn't say it, it was very clear to me. Because, like I said, I'm not stupid. Now, maybe, if she had caught me like at the end of last year, like when I was first starting to date, I would have completely missed all of the signs that she threw my way. But, I picked up on the signs and I went to her place, and this time we were alone the whole night. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When I went to her place that night, I went with the intention of losing my virginity. It's as simple as that. I really felt like I was going to lose my virginity that night. And obviously I could have, because, that's what she wanted to do. That's why she wanted me to come over. You don't invite somebody over to just lay in your bed with you. So I went over to her place and I had that intention of doing that. And, this is only the third time that I had seen her, mind you. We had went on that first date, then I went to her apartment the first time, and now I was going to her apartment for the second time. And that was going to be the third and last time that I saw her. So, we are in the bed, I'm gonna just skip ahead. We're in the bed, like spooning, cuddling, and we start making out and things like that. But I'm not sure when it hit me, but at some point that night when we were laying there together, it just hit me that she is not the one. Like, she is not the one. It was just an intuitive feeling. She is not the one. And when I felt that thought enter my mind, I didn't really know how to react, because I was already in the bed with her. And it's like, okay, now I'm pretty much in control here. I can dictate the outcome. And I'm getting this thought that me and her are not really meant for each other. And, I never really felt a spark with her the whole time. And then, the flakiness and everything like that, it just wasn't there, It wasn't there. I didn't know her well enough. I didn't feel that spark with her, that connection with her. And maybe that's something that could have been developed. It probably could have been developed. But I didn't feel it that night. And because of that, we did not do anything. We never went past making out and just laying in the bed cuddling. And I stayed there the whole night. I slept over at her place. And looking back on it, she was probably pretty salty that I did that. And I would completely understand if she was, a little bit agitated that I came over to her place and didn't do anything with her. And, obviously it's not because she's not good looking or anything like that. Like, she was a good looking girl, and it was hard. It was hard for me to, resist, because mentally I felt like she wasn't the one, but physically my body didn't care about any of that. The whole night I was still like physically ready to go. And, obviously it's easy to come out here and say that, I don't care about sex, and, I'm just thinking about what I can build with a woman and things like that. But, when you are laying in the bed with a girl and you finally have the opportunity to do that, and, it's a girl that you find pretty attractive on top of that, all of those principles are put to the test. It's up to you to determine which is stronger, your mind or your body. And that night I decided that my mind was stronger. And so I left her place, and honestly, I didn't know that was going to be the last time I saw her. But at the same time, I kind of felt that a little bit, because like I said, I stayed over the whole night and we didn't do anything. Like, she didn't call me over just to cuddle. Also, fun fact, I left her apartment with the worst case of blue balls in my life. Like, bro, I've had blue balls before, but this was like, it was to the point where I couldn't walk. Like, I literally had to sit there and just like do nothing. I couldn't do anything. I had to sit there for like a few hours in this chair right here. And believe me, for like the next week or so, I was really regretting how I handled things that night. I was thinking that, man, I should have taken that opportunity. But at the end of the day, I can't have any regrets about that, because I followed my intuition and I stuck to my principles. And, even though we don't talk anymore, me and her, we are done. Like, it's as simple as that. We're done. And, I have no bad blood towards her. I managed to forgive her for flaking and all of that. And I don't know if she has any bad blood towards me. I really don't care. It's whatever. But yeah, me and her are done. And I'm still a virgin.